What is going on, guys? My name is Tubby, and welcome back to the revival of the Triple Threat. Alongside me is my host, the Thug Dumper himself, Mr. Hurricane.
What's going on, guys?
Uh, Before we get started, do you want to explain to people what thug dumping is? Because everybody's hating on it. Before we get into it,
All right, thug dumping, it's not just an action or a verb, it's also a lifestyle.
it is.
Now, the basic act of a thug dump is where you're wearing a hat, preferably sideways, along with a snuggie of your choosing and some sort of container, and you just take a thug dump.
And you don't care. You don't care if people are looking at you. You can thug dump anywhere. It's kind of like planking or T-bowing. It's just a thug dump.
Yeah. So
And
it doesn't deserve all the criticism. It's just different.
it's just something that you got to do. If you take a thug snug dump a dial, it's when you're wearing the hat, you're taking a thug dump just randomly in a snuggie, and you accidentally pocket dial somebody. So that's what it's about. Our guest today is 21 BlackJack. How's it going,
Yep.
sir?
Sup? It's going pretty good over here.
All right, so we want to talk about this one as we revive the Triple Threat. We're going to talk about YouTube shoutouts, things like that. You know, how to grow on YouTube. And a prime example of this is BlackJack, who posted on Not As Fan Sports Gaming Universe's channel. It blew up, and his channel now sits around 1,400 subs. So do you just want to take us through like a mindset of, you didn't ask anybody for shoutouts. You didn't like spam
Right.
people. You just posted a video on his channel, and then you blew up. Just explain a little bit about that for people.
Yeah, sure. So I actually I created my channel somewhere towards late November after I just gotten like a new laptop and I gotten a capture card. So I started capturing stuff and just uploading stuff to YouTube. And I want to say somewhere around the beginning of December, I uploaded one of my first videos, which was for my Two Tails series, and I actually started going around YouTube and seeing like whatever commenters there were out there just to kind of see, at what level they were producing at and see, how good they were. And I actually came across Hurricane, and just randomly, I don't know what I was thinking. I know that at the time I wanted somebody to go ahead and kind of do like one of the like a voice for me, whether it's like announcing or doing some sort of commentary. And I don't know why I did it, but I actually went and PM'd Hurricane, and I was like, hey, I just wanted to know if like you'd be interested in like just doing a voiceover for me. I wasn't even asking him about promoting my video or anything. I just innocently asked about doing a voiceover. And at the time, I was actually on another forum asking. I had like a little forum where you could just check out what I was uploading on my channel. I wasn't really asking people for views. I was just asking for a review and for people to give me comments on what I needed to improve upon. And I actually got a voice actor on from there. Hurricane didn't actually do a voiceover for me at the time. What he actually did was he went and liked the video, and that got a little bit of attention. And then people came my way, and I was like, "Hey, dude, you didn't really have to do that. I just wanted to know if you wanted to do some voiceover stuff." And then we became friends that way. Then that way, I found out about Sports Gaming Universe and Not As Fan, and Not As Fan at the time was going on vacation. And I said, all right, this would be a pretty cool, this would be a pretty cool time if he's going to allow people to go ahead and post on his channel to go ahead and, just put a video up there. But I want to, do something that's really good so that it gets people's attention and says, wow. Because I know that, when somebody does something like that, when they're hosting your channel or, when you're allowing somebody else to post on your channel, people can have the idea of, oh, great, this guy's just using this as his time to, just try to kind of promote himself. And I understand that, yeah, that's kind of part of it, but I didn't want it to be that way. I didn't want it to look like, oh, I'm just looking for extra subscribers. I was like, no, I want to produce something that's very good and that I'm actually going to continue on my channel. So when he posted that, I guess, I don't know if you want to call it a contest or whatnot, I started coming up with ideas that I could start as a series on my channel, and that's how I came up with the whole smash burn offense. Some people don't know what it is, but I created a dynasty with Wyoming, and I created my own offense for it. It took me about a week to do. I created the first video, and what I did was I haven't really seen anybody do this on YouTube. I did radio for about 2 years, so what I did was that instead of just normal commentary, I actually kind of put myself in the position of an announcer. and I made myself announce the game after I was done playing it and capturing it. I would then take the personality of an announcer and announce over the game. And once that uploaded, people like even not a fan before he put it up was like, "Wow, this is like ingenious. This is great."
It really was.
And people really enjoyed it. And then he went and was like promoting it on Twitter too. He was like, "Dude, this guy is like really good. You should really check him out." I easily shot up 1,000 subscribers within like the next 2.5 days. And that's how you found me, Tubby. And you went and promoted me on Twitter too.
Yeah. Okay. So you didn't necessarily, obviously you went to Hurricane, to do voice acting, but you didn't necessarily just go to like the comments, and people think they have a sense of entitlement on YouTube. They're like, this guy deserves to give me a shout out, or they use other directors' video comment section as an advertisement board. Now, as a person who shot up from, you didn't shoot up from people directly saying, hey, go subscribe to my channel. You blew up from, he let you post, they liked a video, then they went to subscribe to you. So you did it more of a way that it should be done, where they sub to you for your content, not necessarily because Tubby Emu said, hey, go sub to me.
Right.
Now, is that preferably, you see guys blow up from shout-outs like I Fly Line, things like that. Do you prefer, like, does it make you feel a little bit better knowing that it's because of how good your content was that people subscribed to you over versus just somebody saying, go check this guy out? Like, does that feel different to you?
Yes. And I mean, I'm of that mindset too. I'm of a mindset that if your peers have a respect for your work, whether it's something that, that they do, or if it's something completely different, if they have a respect for you and say, you should check this guy out because he's very good at what he does, then you're doing it the right way. Like, and even from my mindset, like if I suddenly like, get like really popular and I'm in a position in which, I can help somebody out, or if I notice something good and I can promote them, I'm not gonna, say, check out this random guy who has like 300 subs because, he likes me or whatever. That's not what that's not what it's about. To me, it's about putting out very good content and to, improve yourself and, find different ways to, make different, different videos. And I think that what people need to do is just create, very, very good content. You put some effort into it, show that, you're trying to do something that's different from everybody else and kind of break the mold. And I would much rather, right now I'm in a position where, you guys have kind of helped me get to almost 1,500 subscribers now. But I would much rather be in a position where I'm very well respected by my peers and everybody else around YouTube who just respects the fact that I put a lot of effort into this and they see it. And I've noticed it too. Now, Wiza ended up finding me and he's like, this is like really good commentary. Tubby, you found me, Hurricane found me, and I'm starting to see like other people are just finding my videos who are like, I guess you want to call bigger names. They're not giving me promotion, but they're coming, they're saying, wow, this is really good. And that makes me feel better about myself because I know that if I grow, it's legitimately because the product is good, not because somebody promoted me. And I would much rather have it that way than any other way.
Absolutely. And that's one of the big things. Like I know when I first started posting back in YouTube, I think it was like December, November 2010, I was one of the original guys. And a lot of that stuff I did back then was super original. And that's how my channel blew up. And, I did kind of post early for WWE 12 and that's how I blew up too. And a lot of guys come to me like, will you promote me? Will you do this for me? And I'm like, but you make the exact same thing I do. You do Universe exactly like I do. You do this mode like I do. Like, you're not doing anything different or creative. I think, a channel like me, I've been doing it long enough where I have an audience where I may not necessarily, to continue growing, need to be as creative, but with how many new channels there are, you have to be super creative. And what I loved about you and the reason that I like to promote it was exactly, what you said about going different from commentary from that radio aspect, because I'm a huge radio buff. I like to hear more of that, what you would hear on the radio. Right. And that was the biggest jump for me. Now, Hurricane, what was your biggest thing? Like, what drew you to BlackJack?
Well, I got his message, obviously, and I read through it. I'm like, all right, I'll give this guy a listen. And what drew me in was, one, the concept of his videos, which was very unique. It was like a dual road to glory. This is not in the game. This is artificial with what's given to him. And he did a very good job being creative with it. And the idea was great, and the commentary was excellent. So it was just a perfect blend there. And one thing I wanted to interject on and just talk about a little bit was we're not hitting on the point that you have to have a certain strategy when you talk to other YouTubers and how to get them to maybe feature you on your channel or work with them. We're mainly trying to hit on networking and just saying that you can work with anybody. Well, not like anybody, but there are people out there for you to work with. And if you approach them in the right way and you have the right mindset about like not just asking for shout outs, like if you say someone, hey, I like what you do, I think we have similarities, I think we could work together, or even what BlackJack and I haven't done anything really together on our channels, but we've sat together and we've bounced ideas off of each other.
Yeah, that's actually a great point too, because like a lot of people will they've seen in like my Road to Glory series, like you've done like two voices for it already in my series. But what a lot of people don't know is that a lot of the new stuff that you've come up with your dynasty, and some of the stuff that even I've come up with my dynasty, is just a result of us, bouncing back and forth between ideas. And that a lot of the improvements have just been, wow, here's this new guy. He has a whole bunch of different ideas. Let's bounce back and forth and collab with each other and just talk. So your videos are improving, from just us talking to each other, and so are mine. And it's not even just a direct correlation of just us doing a voiceover together or anything, because I don't want to force a video. Like I can't stand it when people do that. I don't want to force a video to just have the two of us together and just make it like a promotion thing. Like, oh, hey, I'm Hurricane and like this is BlackJack. He's really cool. You should check him out. I don't want that. Like, I want a video where the both of us are legitimately working together and that our roles make sense with one another. And that's why I had you come on board and do the recruiter voice for my series, because it's not for me to say, oh, look, I got Hurricane here. No, Hurricane's voice has a purpose in this.
I think that is a huge difference and a huge mindset where most people that are looking for these shout outs, these call outs, these liking their videos, they don't have that mindset. They just think, well, if Tubby Emu tells people to go subscribe to me, they're going to subscribe to me.
Right.
And, that's not the right way to grow a channel. And
I would say when you're networking, you should find someone who's like-minded, not just a big channel, because me having how many subscribers I do has nothing to do with like how helpful I may have been to BlackJack. It has to do with my personality and the fact that we do similar content, and we're also very similar people, actually.
Yeah, like I could have I know some of the bigger names on YouTube in terms of sports gaming. Like I could have gone to like Chris Smoove or QJB, who like have more subscribers than you do, but they're not my style. They're not they don't do the style of gameplay and kind of imagery and storyline that I do, whereas you do. Your sim style and the way that you present your dynasties fit more of what what I was, and I was like, okay, this is the guy that I want to hit up. This is the guy that I want to talk to, because it just makes more sense.
But I had one more thing. You can finish though.
Okay, before you get into that, so I forget. But at the same time, like you had approached and you kind of locked down who you wanted to work with, but you didn't go into that mindset that if he doesn't do it for me, he sucks. He's the worst person in the world. And you didn't go into it expecting him to shout you out. And I think
he probably didn't even expect me to reply.
Yeah, I didn't. I because right after I did that, I was like, what am I doing? This guy has 20,000 subscribers. He probably has like a ton of messages in his inbox. Why am I even doing this? This is dumb. Like the whole time I was just like, this is a pointless message. I might as well just go on a forum and find somebody to just work with rather than, hit up somebody who probably, doesn't even have the time to, and I was wrong in thinking that, but that was kind of like my thing, was that like, I'm not really expecting a response back, but here's a shot anyway.
Yeah. Hurricane, what were you going to say, man?
Okay, I wanted to just talk about like quality and what good quality really is, because that's something that's thrown around a lot. People always talk about networking and different ways to grow and then improving your quality. I think there are kind of two different categories of improving your quality. One is kind of your audio, video, making sure you have the right equipment and everything sounds good. You want to be able to sound coherent, and you want everything to be high quality, 720p, 1080p, that kind of thing, the high definition. But also, when it comes to your content and everything blending together to create high-quality videos, I think the key is your commentary reinforcing the point of your video. Like what BlackJack and I do, he does it differently than I do. We do it kind of similar. He is more of the announcer type. I do a lot of that too.
Yep.
But we make sure it's all reinforcing the point of the video. Like, it wouldn't necessarily make sense for me to do that if I was doing tips and tricks video, because it doesn't fit. So it's all about, like, I think it's all about everything
Being in the right
reinforcing
context.
each other.
Being in the right context. So it's not like if I'm gonna make, it used to drive me crazy when people do Call of Duty videos like, hey guys, we're doing a Call of Duty, don't pay any attention to the gameplay, we're gonna talk about this.
I hate those so much. They drive me insane.
Yeah, and a lot of people, try to do that. A lot of people, when they send me stuff and they expect a shout out, and this is the one thing I want to drive home is don't have a sense of entitlement.
Yes.
The reason BlackJack blew up was because of his content, not because he got a hold of me. And, just because you get a hold of us and we reply doesn't mean you're going to blow up. Just because I say, hey, check out this guy doesn't mean you're going to blow up. And I want to knock that home. The reason he blew up was because legitimately when I watched that Wyoming Dynasty, and I don't watch sports guys, like, obviously I work with, Hurricane or, not as fan. Me personally, that's not like my cup of tea. Like on YouTube, I like, Sexy Phil. I like real life skits and things like that. But the way he did it, the way he was announcing just like drew me in. And I think if you're going to these people, and I would suggest doing it yourself. I mean, unless you have content like BlackJack does where it really catches people, don't just go to everybody and, we keep saying network with people, try to find that person. If you do WWE, don't just lock on to me and expect me to shout you out. Like, I think that's like a big one. If you have good content, you'll find its way. A lot of people that come to us is like they're recording with a potato on a TV screen. Like they're aiming a camera at a TV and their audio is, you got the crumply paper on it. Like that's not entertaining to watch.
Yeah.
And every day on YouTube, there's more channels created. It's harder to get your name out there if you're a young channel, especially now. Kind of like after, I'm pretty sure for most people, it was kind of like after 2009, 2010 is when it started to get more saturated. And really, you want to make sure you have the high quality. Like if you're on the 480p and you have a low quality microphone, it's really going to have you kind of in the double A's of YouTube, I guess.
Yeah, and don't get mad at people when they tell you, hey, your audio and video quality, is kind of subpar, because just because you have that, the Yeti or, in my case, I have a Shure SM microphone, or you have a Hop Hog or an Elgato, just because you have that doesn't mean you're going to be successful. So when we come back to like, hey man, your videos, weren't that bad. I just, it's kind of hard to understand you with the audio or the video is kind of, crappy. I know me and Tony, when we made a video and we said, to start, you should have at least 720 quality and good audio quality. And people were like, that's not true, Tubby. You don't need HD video. Name a channel that doesn't. And the only one that I know that gets away with it is DSP, who uses a camera at a TV. He's the only commentator I've ever known that's made a living off of not having high HD quality.
I'll actually jump onto that point. One of my and this is going back to the whole of the quality of my videos. One of my favorite comments, when I have two. One of my favorite comments from posting that thing on Not As Fans video, Not As Fans channel, was that somebody actually said, when I saw that this was 24, 29 minutes, he was like, there's no way I'm watching this. And for some reason, I sat through and watched all 24 minutes of it and never felt bored. And that was like really what kind of hammered it home for me, that somebody is actually enjoying the quality of this. Because honestly, when I see a 24, 25-minute video on YouTube, I'm like, you better have me in the first minute or I'm going away.
First 10 seconds, usually. There's that gap.
But going back to the whole point about, criticism, I got some criticism on that video too. And one of the big ones was that my audio overlapped itself a lot. Like I would cut out, or I would cut out my voice with the hard cut that I had, and it would stop like my sentences midway. And that was something that people brought up, and I would respond back and I would be like, I'll definitely, work on that the next video. And then the next video came out, it fixed it. I asked everybody to just put your input on it, and everybody was like, it's fine, it's perfect. And that's the best thing that you can do if you're if you're on YouTube and you're producing content, is to listen to your fans, and that if your fans have criticism, and it's a criticism that makes sense and something that can improve your video, listen to what they have to say, because they're probably just looking for you to make better content, not to insult you.
Exactly.
You can't. One of the things that you have to make sure of on YouTube is that there's a crowd that isn't watching you, and there is a crowd that is watching you. And I think too many YouTubers sometimes, they worry about the subscribers that aren't there yet, and they don't satisfy the ones that are there.
Right.
In many cases, if you satisfy who is already there, they're going to stay longer, and naturally, you're going to gain more subscribers. And if you can keep them there, if you have that high retention, and they always come back to your series or your videos, and you're always focused on making your subscribers happy,
Mhm.
then you're naturally just going to get more views that way.
Yeah,
Right.
and one of the big things that I noticed was, a lot of people, now that these big channels like me, Tony, Backyard, a lot of people, a lot of the, I don't want to say haters or trolls, they're like, wow, your videos have really turned into shit. But at the same time, those same videos that get a little bit of hate are the ones that the subscribers keep coming back on. The subscribers love, and
Right.
it's something that you've built as a staple of your channel.
Mhm.
And so people see what I'm doing as far as universe mode or your guys' corrected careers, and then they try to do that exact same thing and then wonder why they don't grow.
Right.
There's a difference between what I put on my channel, what my subscribers already like and enjoy. It's a proven process versus a new channel starting up and doing that same thing. And that's where, BlackJack really blew my mind, because I actually watched that whole episode on Nodis's channel, and it shocked me. And I think, I just want to emphasize that home, is that if you're coming to somebody and you don't get a response, don't get deterred and think they hated you, or, most likely they were just too busy, with too many messages. It's not personal. That's the one thing I can say. If it's
Right.
not personal. It's not that I don't want to not help you, because a lot of people have that mindset that, bigger YouTubers are too full of themselves to help. When I like to help people, I like to spread it out. Like, when we first, all of us WWE guys worked together, it built up a rivalry between us. So, like, when one person would do universe mode, people would go back and forth, be like, oh, this guy sucks. He does this wrong. He does that wrong. And it built up this massive rivalry. Versus now, I work with Hurricane, Nodis, now BlackJack, and it separates. You want to have a good group of guys to like bounce ideas off of, but as far as growing together, if I do WWE and you do sports, and I'm like, hey guys, you always ask me to play sports. If you want to see a guy that's really good at sports, go check out BlackJack or Hurricane.
Right.
And then if you do sports and they're like, hey man, you should try WWE. Well, hey, you like WWE, go check out this person.
Yeah.
And I think that's what I like. I personally like to promote stuff, is that not just outside of my genre because I don't want them to grow. That's not the truth at all. I think it's more beneficial to work with people that are like-minded, that, I can come to you with an idea and pitch it off of you, but at the same time, you do a little bit of different stuff. So it's not as like competing against each other for those views. I mean, you like working with the people.
Yeah.
As far as growing, like what did you think about that when you obviously came out of nowhere? Like, what was your first reaction? Like when your sub count, I'm guessing you opened your email and just saw that and you were blown away.
It was well, first, before I even like started this channel, these were ideas that I had in my head for a while. Like I can remember when NCAA football 13 first came out, and I had this idea for the two series that I'm making. For Two Tails that I made now, and Wyoming came a little later. I had the idea, but I just didn't have the means to really produce it the way that I wanted to. And I kind of want to emphasize this before I answer your question. Once I like started working at my job and I started saving up, I got a new laptop. I have a 2 terabyte hard drive that I went to buy, and then I got my game capture card, and I got a little mic that I bought for like $40. Once I had all of that, and I knew that like, okay, the quality of my vid and then the audio of my vid aren't going to be hurt anymore, now it's time to produce. So I made sure that I had everything before I did it. But then my reaction, it was a little crazy because it was I think it was the day after New Year's, and I had just played like Halo 4 online with a few friends of mine, and I just saw like I just hit 100. I was like, yeah, look, I just hit 100. Like, this is exciting. I'm growing, yay! And then I went to sleep. And I woke up the next morning, and all of a sudden, like, I blew up to like 300. And I was like, where is this coming from? I went to go check my inbox. There was easily like 200 messages in there, and I'm like, what is going on? And I went over to Nada's fans channel, and I saw like the amount of just like, wow, this is amazing. Wow, blah, blah, blah. I was just like, oh my God, this is gonna blow up. This is gonna be huge. And I mean, I really couldn't believe it. And it wasn't just so much that like the video got up there. It was just everybody's commenting on it, and then everybody all of a sudden coming to my channel. Then all of a sudden, all my like videos blew up. Like, there are videos now where I remember when they had like almost maybe 100 views. And I think my first episode of Two Tails now, because I think everybody wanted to check out the series, the first episode of Two Tails has almost 2,000 views now. And I knew, and the night that it happened, it easily blew up like 1,000. So it wasn't just like that video blew up. It was like then my channel was blowing up too. And then on top of that, you guys were also like, you need to check this out. You need to see this and shouting me out and everything. So it was kind of great to just see that I put a lot of effort into something. It got uploaded. And I just kind of like sat back, went to sleep one night, and woke up the next morning, and everything was the way that it was.
Now, if that didn't happen, what do you think you would have done differently? Like if you had been producing those high quality videos, like do you know now if it didn't blow up on Not, it's like what would you have done? Would you have been one of the people that started spamming and saying, "Hey, I'm a unique guy"? In your case, you really are unique. So when you see those comments and all the videos, like I know you see this spam message 1,000 times a day, but I really am unique. Come check me out. Like, what was your plan of action if you hadn't gotten that from Hurry or?
I mean that's the thing too, is that a lot of people say that they're a lot of people have a problem where they say that they're unique, and then you go to their channel and it's the same thing that you've seen 100 times over again. I try not to preach too much about being unique. I mean, if you know that you're unique, your product is going to sell. What you have, regardless of how small you are or where you start, people are going to know how
It's
good
not
you.
up for you as the content creator to say that I'm unique. It's up for your
Yeah, yeah,
content to
yeah, yeah.
display that and for other people to notice that.
Correct. That's exactly the mindset that I have about it. If I didn't blow up on Honest Fan's channel, I'd probably still be producing it and struggling my way through.
Now,
Because for me, I went to college for 4 years, and I was a communications major. I mean, this is what I do, and I've wanted to do video production work. And my next step is actually getting a camera so that I can actually start filming my own stuff and producing films. But right now, I can do visions that I have and create that kind of cinematic quality with a little bit of radio production too, in my work. And that's another thing, is that it's really cool when people bring outside influences into what their work is. And I don't think enough people do that. I think they see how somebody does one thing and then, tries to do exactly what they do,
yeah.
but their way. Like when I looked at the way that Hurricane did his Dynasty video, the first thing I said was, "Damn, I wish he didn't pick UTSA, because that would have been like the perfect school. They're small. Nobody knows who they are. I really wish I had done that, but I didn't look at it that way. I was like, all right, what can I do that because I like the way that he did it. How can I do this my way and put my own unique spin on it?" And I listen to a lot of radio callers. Like you guys are huge Paul Allen fans, and I
Hell
love
yeah.
Paul Allen is like one of my favorite announcers. Randy Moeller is another guy who does the calls for the Florida Panthers, and he just says like ridiculous stuff. I listen to a lot of Stacey King's commentaries and stuff, and after like listening to that, I was like, why don't I just do that? Why don't I do a Dynasty series in which I take on the personality of an announcer, so that it's almost like I'm a fan, but I'm also commentating without taking the role of a player, the team, or the coach. And then this way I can tell the story a different way than most people do. And then just go out there and produce it. And if people like it, they like it. And if
I
not,
think. Oh, go ahead.
and I said, and if not, well, I'm going to keep doing it this way. And, maybe next year I'll try something different.
I think the great part about that though is that it's a series. Like it's not like a one-time thing. Like this was a great video, but it doesn't make you a one-hit wonder because this is this entire series. You do all the videos the same way, which I think is great. Like when I first started my channel or started making videos, I wasn't sure really what I wanted to do. I kind of wanted to kind of do shooter commentaries like on Gears of War, Call of Duty. I would have been one of those people. But instead, I started doing my Vikings franchise, and I realized, okay, I have a series here. People have an expectation. They're looking for these videos in their sub boxes. They want to come back for these videos. And really, the Vikings franchise was my first real YouTube idea. And I'm just lucky that it worked because it's built everything on my channel now. 900 and some videos later is pretty much all series based, kind of that style.
Yeah. And that's actually a great point, because I actually wanted to touch on that at one point. When a video goes viral, if it's like a one video deal and like that's all it's supposed to be, if that's not a series, you're gonna blow up because of that video, but nobody's gonna come back for your content. Like there's like the dubstep bird or whatever who does like the dubstep stuff. Like that's one video. Like that's not happening again. You can't make a series off of that.
And then you have Epic Mealtime, which is every video is viral and it's all in a
a lot of
series.
channels have that, but it's just like, you know, when I first started, the reason I did WWE is because I went to YouTube and searched WWE, and I didn't find any content from gameplay, really. I didn't find anything from that. So I said to myself, well, I'm going to create that content, and, you know, one of the big things about this as a job is figuring out how to master search. And we did that when it came to pay-per-view videos back in 2011, where they would get us tons of views when you would search a pay-per-view and you were trying to find that real match and you came across our videos. Well, now everybody does that because they're trying to get those quick views. Where you do Royal Rumble 2013 Rock versus CM Punk. Yeah, that'll go get on tons of views, but at the same time, you're not building that subscriber base. And that's what I've learned over the last couple months, where, you know, not my universe mode, my GM modes, things like that. I'm not against one-off videos in the least, but I think when it comes to building a fan base, especially now because everybody and their mother does these WWE pay-per-view videos because they're proven to get views and make money. If you're trying to build a channel, don't build it around stuff like that. Don't build it off of stuff that's going to just get quick, cheap views.
Right.
That's not what you want to do. You want to build it off stuff that's going to keep people coming back for more, and that's exactly what happened with your Wyoming dynasty. I love it. Why you picked Wyoming, I'm still not sure about that. I'm not a big Wyoming guy. I mean, there's really nothing out there, but Is there one thing that a tip you can give to somebody if they're a new commentator, they want to get going at it? Let's
each do like our one top tip or something.
All right. Hurricane, let's start with you before we get to the guest. Hurricane, what's your one tip that you can give to somebody?
All right. What I would tell people to do is, no matter what size your channel is, if you have 100 subscribers, even I do this quite often. Ask your viewers for feedback, because it's very valuable to improving things, seeing what they're enjoying, because you have to put yourself in their shoes sometimes to understand what they're going to enjoy versus what they're just going to watch and not really pay attention to. You want them to come back for things. And so when you want to make something great and as good as possible, ask for their feedback, read the comments, and interact with them. It definitely goes a long way.
Produce what your subscribers want, not necessarily what, you know, other directors, because like other directors will hammer people all the time, and your audience loves it, and then everybody else is critical of you. Do what your subscribers want, not what other people tell you to do. Make what they want, and they'll keep coming back for more. All right, BlackJack, what do you got?
Yeah, I'm actually going to hammer in a little more on that point. It's just really, you have to kind of just break the norm. You have to let yourself shine through. Like, I understand that Chris Smoove is like one of the big NBA 2K guys, but then people just like most of the other guys that not all of them, but like, you know, most of the smaller ones and you know, the other guys who do 2K just kind of do the same thing, or try to, like, you know, work off that same formula. And really what it becomes is that everybody just kind of becomes, you know, the same kind of thing. The best thing that you can do is just be yourself, be unique, and find out what you can bring to the table, instead of worrying about, oh, what are these guys doing? I have to do that too. No, bring what you have to the table and let that show through. And in time, if your content and what you do is great, it's going to stand out from everybody else. And that's what's going to make you successful.
Absolutely. And I think one of the big things for me that I really want to hit home is don't have a sense of entitlement. Don't think that when you send a message to somebody, you're going to get a response and then instantly they're going to promote you. I think that's a huge problem with, you know, YouTubers now, and they get mad and they think that they take it super personal. Like, oh, I sent this guy a message, he didn't even bother to respond. That guy has no reason to promote you. Correct. You haven't done anything to earn that. And one of the biggest things is BlackJack never once asked for help. I saw his video and was like, damn, this dude is going places. Go sub to him now. So make your content, and if you approach people and like, hey, check out my channel or check out the videos and give me a feedback, that's one thing. But going to somebody and demanding a shout out, don't do stuff like that.
Yeah.
If you want help, what I used to do was, I think it was Fisticuffs back in the day, like when he was one of the bigger channels, he needed banners occasionally. I would make him a banner, be like, hey man, thanks. Is there anything you need? I'd be like, hey, would you want to do a video for Machinima Sports? And, you know, because he, you know, reciprocated the favor, he's like, yeah, sure. Granted, I never did it, but just don't go in with a sense of entitlement. Make your videos. Try to be BlackJack. I don't think you can do it, but it's one of the good ones. Anything else you guys want to talk about? Hit home quick.
If there's anything else we missed, we can probably make a part 2. This has been a pretty long one already.
Oh,
yeah.
yeah.
Don't
All right.
beg for it. Do not beg for the views.
Do
Don't
not
do
beg
that.
for it. All right, guys. Make sure to check out BlackJack, youtube.com/It's BlackJack Media or Jacks.
It's BlackJack's. Yeah, so there's an S at the end of that.
It's BlackJack's Media. Check him
Yeah.
out on YouTube. And then, of course, Mr. Hurricane. 2 eyes, because two
That's
eyes
right.
are greater
2
than
eyes,
one.
2 R's. All makes sense.
There's double of both. Well, that makes sense because isn't Hurricane with 2 R's?
Yeah.
I think so. All right.
That's
Until
right.
next time, guys, thank you very much for watching, and we will see you all later.